Hello and welcome to this episode of Guitar Essentials with Nate. Today we're going to be talking about the upstroke. So hopefully from the last lesson you've had some practice with timing and just maintaining chords and changing chords using a metronome and your downstroke. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in the upstroke. So most guitarists, when they're strumming chords, you'll notice they're using a combination of downstrokes and upstrokes in their playing. So let's get started. Okay, so I mainly want you to see my strumming hand, that's this one, while we practice, so you can get an idea what it looks like, what I'm doing when we practice these upstrokes. So as you remember from before, I wanted to use my mechanical metronome, that's this little guy here. We're going to stick to the same speed. I'm using 66 beats per minute, which I feel like is a good speed for these exercises, but use a speed that is comfortable for you. What we want to do is we want to make sure we maintain smooth and fluid changes, and that you're able to maintain that while keeping to the timing of the metronome. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing the same chords, which was G and D, and what we're going to be doing is using our thumb to make a downstroke, and then we'll use the thumb for the upstroke. Now the upstroke is simply this: after you've played your downstroke with your thumb, you just stroke the thumb across the strings on the way up, and that's your upstroke. So when you play a downstroke, you come back up again with your thumb and just lightly stroke the strings to make the upstroke. So let's get the metronome started and let's practice. Oh, the other thing to mention is we're going to be playing eighth notes, and what that means is up to now, when you've been playing the downstroke, you've been playing like this, so just one stroke per beat. That's what we've been playing up to now. So you've been playing quarter note strokes, quarter note rhythm, because a quarter note means there's 4 beats in every bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the difference with the upstroke is we're playing eighth notes as well. So we're going to be playing 8 beats or 8 notes to every bar, because on the upstroke is kind of like an in-between note. That's the 8th note. So that's going to look something like this: 3, 4. That's it, nice and simple. We're just stroking the strings lightly to maintain the 8th note rhythm. And the main thing at the moment is just to be light. Be light on the strings. We're not looking for heavy. You're just using the fleshy part of your thumb to stroke the strings on the downstroke and the upstroke. So that's a good way to get warmed up. We're playing 8th notes, so every single downstroke and upstroke. Now what you're going to find when you get into playing, and especially when you start writing your own tunes, is you're not going to want to play downstroke, upstroke on every single beat. Most guitarists, they find that they have a combination or almost a different syncopation of those rhythms. So I'm just going to show you a couple of different ways you can do that. The main thing is that when you're playing your rhythm and you're playing a downstroke with your thumb, when you're not playing an upstroke with your thumb, you just bring your hand back up as you would without playing an upstroke. So what I mean by that is, before, when you were playing quarter notes, you were going, and you see when my hand's coming back up, it's coming back up without touching any strings. And that's all you're going to do when you don't want to play the upstroke. So you can play an upstroke when you want to, or a downstroke on its own when you don't. And you notice my hand looks exactly the same. There's very little difference from what you can see between my hand's movement between when playing downstroke only, or downstroke and upstroke. So that's what we're aiming for. So the same motion, the same movement, it's just we're touching the strings on the way back up. Okay, so let's talk about some different rhythms, some different combinations of downstroke and upstroke. So why don't we begin with, go with a down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up rhythm. And that's going to look like this, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so that's one different combination. Let's think about maybe one or two more. So what could we do? We could maybe try and have a down up in the first couple of beats, and then just go with a down for the last couple of beats. So 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. Now, eventually, once you come up with your own rhythms and your own syncopations, you'll find that you can actually just play upstrokes on some of your beats. In other words, leave the downstroke and play the upstroke, and that's where you're going to really create this kind of sense of syncopation and kind of alternative rhythms. So an example of that would be if I'm playing kind of a down up, and then I'll just play a couple of upstrokes, so you can really get an idea of that syncopation. 3, 4. Okay, so the first bar of that sequence, I actually missed the first upstroke, but hopefully you saw how by playing the upstroke alone on a couple of beats, it gives you this kind of syncopated, almost reggae-like rhythm. And essentially a lot of reggae rhythms are exactly that. They're missing the downstroke, but they're playing the upstroke. It kind of gives it that kind of kick, that lift, that's very kind of characteristic of reggae music. So if I was just playing upstrokes, it would kind of have that, and obviously the drums and the bass would be marking the downstrokes, and the guitar would just kind of be accenting those upstrokes. So that's how you get that kind of syncopated reggae kind of feel. So these are some different combinations. So try some of your own. Just have a play while you're practicing your chords with a metronome, of combining downstrokes with upstrokes, but then alternating it a little bit so you can come up with your own rhythms and your own sequences. So have a go, and then maybe just drop some comments on this video to let me know how you got on and if you managed to find some cool rhythms of your own. And then we can obviously look towards expanding our repertoire with the next lesson. So I'll see you next time.